I've been driving for about a little over 2 years now. And what I've noticed is that, and I think it's obvious, I think a lot of people talk about this without even knowing it, discuss it, whether you talk about how the system's set up or whatever the fuck it is, but basically, there's a monopoly on truck ownership, class A or whatever the fuck it is, because check it out. I've been driving for this guy for over a year. I only had my license for a little over 2 years. And what this guy does is, he always has something wrong with the truck. That means it's less money for the driver. So if you wanted to get into a situation where you try to purchase a truck, let's say that, you'll never get there. Now, the pay is supposedly good. You know what I'm saying? You get a couple of checks. After you get a couple of checks, 1 or 2 checks, right? Something goes wrong. You know what I mean? Something happens with a shipper. Something happens with the truck itself. Somebody tampers with it. You know what I'm saying? Now you out of the truck for 3 days, 2 days, every week or two. You know what I'm saying? 2 weeks at the 2 weeks at the least, right? And what this does, and it's obvious, it keeps, you know what I'm saying, you as a company driver, because you got to constantly try to get back in the truck. You're not making any progress, by the way, right? And that's the whole goal. The goal is for people to remain employees, not make enough money to do anything. So as I'm doing this video, I'm cleaning the truck out. I've been doing this. I did this about 3 times already this week. Got in the truck, got out of the truck. I ran into a situation up in New Jersey where the receiver didn't plow. So I got stuck, ended up paying $300. I'm waiting for, and I'm not an owner-operator, by the way. I'm a company driver. I'm waiting for my money to come back for the company that I'm driving for. You know what I'm saying? And I'm waiting for the guy to pay me for that, $300. He doesn't want to pay that because he hasn't. You see what I'm saying? So, all in all, it's just been a number of things working with this guy that I've noticed. You see what I'm saying? And the whole goal is for me to remain a company driver, me to constantly be living paycheck to paycheck, never step into a situation where, or be able to step into a situation where I own the truck, I can drive for myself, I can, turn majority of the profit for myself. This guy, he has multiple trucks. He probably has about 10 trucks or whatever the fuck it is. A lot of people driving for him. He's an immigrant guy, family, kids, all the whole nine. I'm just one motherfucking guy with a drive to make something of myself. You see what I'm saying? And I'm just not able to do it because you have malicious intent out here. You have people who want to either destroy you in your career as a CDL holder, or they want to keep you in a position to, turn a profit for them and never yourself. And it's not a situation where, I'm not doing everything I'm supposed to do. You see what I'm saying? I used to smoke a lot of weed. I used to do all that shit. I used to drink. I don't even drink no more. I don't do nothing. I'm college educated. I study the system of white supremacy. Right? So I know a little bit of what the fuck I'm talking about. And it's a sophisticated process because, the guy I'm driving for, he told me that the truck was ready. I got in the truck. I told him that the truck has a wobble. He said it's just an alignment problem. Right? Instead of fixing it, he told me to drive it a few days and then he'll get it fixed later rather than getting it done right away. Mind you, I'm supposed to recover a trailer up in New Jersey that's been stuck in the snow because I had to pay $300 to get that out. Nevertheless, despite all of that happening, they still have to go along with the agenda because the agenda is to keep me broke no matter how it looks, because that trailer being up in New Jersey doesn't necessarily affect this guy who owns this company. The true goal is to keep me as an employee. So even with that trailer up there, they know I'm stressing about it because I make less money. He's not stressing about it because I just sold another driver for this company pull out, and he's making money for this guy as well. You see what I'm saying? But nevertheless, I wouldn't be surprised if that driver, who also drives for the company, is dealing with the same situation, because it's not as sophisticated as motherfuckers think. You know, people think they slick. But I noticed, you know what I'm saying, how, you know, small shit can throw you off course 2 years in. And it's been a saying like, oh, you got to pay your dues when you first get your CDL. So I've been getting exploited the entire way out. People have been turning profits off of me and shit like that, chewing me up and spitting me out. 2 years in, I probably worked for 4 to 5 different companies. I left this guy and came back because, you know what I'm saying, the other guy lied to me or whatever the fuck it is. I left him after 1 week, and I came back to work for this guy because I worked with him the longest. But the entirety of my stay with this guy, you know what I'm saying, has been nothing but fucking problems. And those of us who don't have the resources and shit like that to purchase things for ourselves after we get the experience, such as, you know what I'm saying, a truck, a trailer, or whatever the fuck it is, we're able to get exploited and ran through the hamster wheel. Because the name of the game is to keep me off the motherfucking road. I don't have any kids. You know what I'm saying? Only thing I got is college debt. But I'm trying to get into a situation where I save enough money to get into a truck ownership position so I can turn profit for myself and get myself out of debt and basically better my life. But there's an agenda. That's what I'm trying to point out to you guys. And there's a monopoly on truck ownership. So you can always be used and spit out at will. If they keep people from becoming owner-operators or whatever the fuck it is, these major companies, like these white supremacist companies like J.B. Hunt, Western Express, and so on, you know what I'm saying? They are able to chew us up and spit us out. And overall, outside of the trucking industry, you got to think about what's taking place in the general society, outside of the work environment. Let's say your everyday life. You got a lot of racism and shit taking place out here. You know what I'm saying? These things leak over into, you know what I'm saying, professionalism. These agendas exist within, you know what I'm saying, work professions, for lack of better terms. So taking all these things into account, I know there's a steady effort to keep me and to penny pinch, per se. Penny pinch a little here, there, this week, every other week, make something happen, you know what I'm saying? In addition to, you know what I'm saying, some of the personal problems that I may be dealing with, some of the personal, you know what I'm saying, objectives that I may have. Because things come up. You know what I'm saying? Family situations or whatever the fuck it is. Despite me not having kids or whatever the fuck it is, there's still people I know, people I care about, whatever the fuck it is, even if we're not on good terms. So when you take all these things into account, there's a real agenda at play. And then, like I say, you know what I'm saying, on my Facebook page or whatever the fuck it is, my friends or whatever, we, as black men, and me specifically as a black man, I get held to unrealistic expectations. You know what I'm saying? While being expected to live a low quality of life. And working for other people who have these, you know what I'm saying, white supremacist alignments, anti-black alignments, immigrant groups, working for white people or whatever the fuck it is. This is what these people expect. This is the practice. You see what I'm saying? And the guy that I'm working for, he has a very, you know what I'm saying, relaxed attitude. He's kind of respectful or whatever the fuck it is, but he's disrespectful, you know what I'm saying, in, you know, certain ways, because nobody's perfect. You know what I'm saying? But nevertheless, there is a monopoly on truck ownership. It just is. And then you'll have people say, oh yeah, it's something, you know, find a different company, you know, just work for these people, this, that, and the third. I've been driving ungoverned, you know what I'm saying, with this guy. So my truck is not governed at fucking 65, 68, 70. It can get up to 75 miles an hour, right? Which helps a little bit. The second company that I worked for after white supremacist Western Express, I was able to drive 75 miles an hour. I drove tankers at 75 miles an hour up in Pennsylvania. So I have a certain preference. You see what I'm saying? When you talk to certain people, they want to put you in the box because, you know, they are inadequate in many ways. In some ways, at least. But I'm saying all that to say, you know, I notice certain shit that I've been dealing with. I notice that people have unrealistic expectations of me, or expect me, you know what I'm saying, hold me at these unrealistic expectations and expect me to live a low quality of life. I've been working hard the past couple of days to take my shit in and out of this truck to no avail at this point, because I have to work for somebody else, because I'm not able to turn a profit for myself. I don't want to compromise working for a white supremacist company that doesn't have confidence in my ability to operate a vehicle and want to govern me. Not JB Hunt, you know what I'm saying? Western Express, not any of these companies. US Express, I don't give a fuck what company you name. I'd rather work for a private company or myself. I want to get into a position of truck ownership so I can turn a profit and be able to retire early, potentially get into different business ventures. I don't necessarily want to be a truck driver for the rest of my life. I may want to just sit and take a vacation every once in a while and smoke weed or whatever the fuck it is, or whatever. You see what I'm saying? That's my preference. But as of now, I'm in a situation where it's constant pressure when other people are not holding their end of the bargain. Majority of these companies in America, not just trucking, the white supremacists ran, the immigrant ran, and a lot of us as black people, we gotta work for these motherfucking people, and we get told that we're lazy if we don't work for these motherfucking people. And I have countless examples. I have I can expose names, you know what I'm saying? In many ways, I decide not to do that shit. You see what I'm saying? Particularly with this guy that I'm working for. But I just wanted to point out, again, taking all these things into consideration, there's a monopoly on truck ownership. If I become a owner, operator, whatever the fuck it is, these people with these trucks and whatever the fuck it is, they look at me as competition. That's just the facts of it. If they can keep as many black people or as many truck drivers from becoming owner operators, the business owners turn more profit for themselves because there's more available loads for them. And it's so many layers to this shit that I'm not mentioning. There's so many aspects of this shit that I'm not mentioning. There are things that you can get away with if you're only turning profit for other people. If you're not turning profit for yourself, you know what I'm saying? This white supremacist system is okay with that, especially if you're a black person. You know what I'm saying? I've been in positions where I've risked my CDL, and quite frankly, I'm still in positions where I've risked my CDL, turning profit for an immigrant group or the company owner. But if you take these risks for yourselves, I would assume that, you know what I'm saying, this white supremacist system would attack you. So I'm just pointing this shit out. I'm just throwing things in perspective because I truly believe that, you know what I'm saying, white supremacy is at play in many of our affairs, even when we try to assume that it's not the case. You see what I'm saying? And like I said, it's so many factors that I'm not mentioning to you, because if I put these things in perspectives, you know what I'm saying, you would agree in totality as to what the fuck I'm talking about. But I don't have that many videos on my YouTube page, you know what I'm saying, but I talked about Western Express, I talked about what I dealt with there. This is after months and a couple of years or whatever the fuck it is, right? And I'm dealing with the same scenario. Same little snake ass scenario, people doing shit and hiding their hand. Because that's what happens in everything we do in life. It's no different in the trucking industry. This is what I've noticed. Like me going to deliver a load up in New Jersey, and the one shipper in an area surrounded by warehouses, the one shipper that I'm delivering to decides not to plow, and I get stuck. And we think these things are not malicious. We think these things, you know what I'm saying, are not intended to, you know what I'm saying, target specific people. But I understand the system of white supremacy, and white supremacy will go through extraordinary lengths to, you know what I'm saying, economically disenfranchise or target specific people. But I'm just throwing these things out there for you so you can get a good understanding as to where I'm coming from with this shit. Again, I've been sober 6-7 years now, right? Going on 7 years. Gave up alcohol, gave up drinking. I'm not a bastard baby maker. College educated, high school diploma, CDL holder now. Countless, you know you know what I'm saying, jobs or whatever the fuck it is. I'm not just starting, you know what I'm saying, in life. I wasn't born yesterday. I know what the fuck I'm talking about. There's a monopoly on truck ownership. They do penny pinching to keep you in a position of employee so you will never become an owner and try to profit for yourself. I'm an excellent driver. This is a fucking manual truck right here. This is a 10-speed truck. It's a Freightliner. It's wobbling all over the fucking place. It's raining down here, you know what I'm saying, and I'm supposed to go up to New Jersey where most likely there's going to be ice. So if the truck is wobbling and I drive the truck up there and I crash, it's going to fall on me. Now, when I bring these facts, you know what I'm saying, or these concerns up to my employer, he's most likely going to tell me that there's something wrong with me, rather than acknowledging the fact that I told him that something's wrong with the truck. Mind you, I told him that something was wrong with the truck when I drove it earlier to put fuel in the truck, because there wasn't fuel in the truck yesterday when I came to the truck. The truck was completely on E. So yesterday afternoon, mid-afternoon, I got in the truck. I said the truck was wobbling. I told him right around 1 o'clock p.m., which is more than enough time to get that sorted out, to plan ahead or whatever the fuck it is. Instead, he decided to tell me that it's okay, just drive it or whatever the fuck it is, and it's not okay. You put me in a dangerous situation where I'm going up north, where it's potentially ice on the fucking ground because it gets colder. It's about 40 degrees right now. It gets colder when you go up north. Not to mention, even though it's not even fucking icy down here, the truck is I'm still having difficulty keeping the truck in one lane because the truck is drifting as a result of out of alignment or whatever the fuck as a result of being out of alignment. So I'm just putting shit in context, because things and scenarios like this are the reason why, you know what I'm saying, many of us will continuously remain in employee status. This is how people are able to monopolize, you know what I'm saying, truck ownership. This is why so many of us are forced to work for other people. We're not engaging in trade, even outside of the field of driving trucks. I'm just giving you examples. You see what I'm saying? And I really believe this to be true. I believe that, you know what I'm saying, even the guy that I'm working for, as nice as he may be, he's connected with people who are malicious, people who, you know what I'm saying, do all the things I mentioned in this video. Penny pinch, orchestrate disasters, sabotage people's careers, or whatever. As nice as he may be. And even if he isn't, those people exist. Those people do things like this. People can be tampering with the truck to put me in a dangerous situation. You see what I'm saying? People orchestrate, you know what I'm saying, catastrophe. They orchestrate, you know what I'm saying, the destruction of people's aspirations, and so on. So, let this be an example. Let this be, you know what I'm saying, you know, an indicator as to, for those of you all who drive trucks or whatever profession you in, you know, you're not crazy. Let's just put it that motherfucking way. I'm putting two and two together. The shit not making sense. I had this guy supposedly fix this truck because it was emitting chemicals into the cabin. It was emitting exhaust fumes. So they fixed that. Now they put me back in the truck, and the truck can barely stay in one lane once you get up to speed. And it's not a situation where, oh yeah, you want to go fast, you already said this. No, that's not the situation, dumbass. That's not the situation. The situation is the truck is more difficult to control in relationship to other trucks. Me being able to drive a manual, me having this experience, me being behind the wheel of multiple trucks, I know that I'm not supposed to be in this situation. But nevertheless, these things occur because the overall game is to prevent truck drivers or people who have desires of ownership, truck ownership, business ownership, from moving ahead and getting to that goal. Stomping out the competition per se. Because even the motherfuckers you work for, in some cases, will look at you as competition. So they may not train you properly. They may withhold certain information from you. They may do all different types of things to ensure that you stay in employee status. So with that said, I don't want to talk too motherfucking much. I'm just throwing these things out there and trying to expose, to some of you all, what the fuck I'm dealing with, what I know through observation, and so on. These motherfuckers that I'm working for and the motherfuckers whoever made a decision to put me in this situation right now, this circumstance, to drive a dangerous truck that can't stay in one fucking lane, right? Because somebody did it. Somebody knew that I was getting in this truck, and that this truck had difficulty staying in the lane. Somebody put me in this situation in order to stomp out the motherfucking competition. Somebody's competing with me. Somebody's practicing white supremacy. Somebody's out here doing something to ensure that I don't move forward economically.